Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Hope you all are doing well. So let's start today's topic. Today in this class, we will learn about Dalton's atomic theory and Avogadro's law. First, we will see about Dalton's theory. John Dalton in 1808 put forwarded a theory called Dalton's atomic theory, and he published a new system of chemical philosophy in which he proposed some postulates. So let's discuss about the postulates or the main points. So the first point is matter is made up of extremely small indivisible particles which are known as atoms. Second one is atoms of the same elements are identical in all respect. In all respect means it is same in shape, size, mass, etc. The third one is atoms of different elements have different masses, size and also possess different chemical properties. The fourth one is atoms of the same or different elements combine together to form compound atoms which is otherwise known as molecules. Then next point is when atoms combine with one another to form compound atom or molecule, they do so in simple whole number ratio like 1:1:2 or 1:2:3 and so on. Sixth one is atoms of two elements may combine in different ratio to form more than one compound. Example, sulfur combines with oxygen to form sulfur dioxide whose ratio is 1:2. Likewise, sulfur when chemically combined with oxygen, it can also form sulfur trioxide whose ratio is 1:3. Then the next postulate is an atom is the smallest particle that takes part in a chemical reaction. And the last one is atom can neither be created or nor be destroyed. So, if we observe keenly, we can notice that many of the postulates related or we can say it explain the laws of chemical combination that we read before in the previous video. So, the point atom can neither be created or destroyed explains the law of conservation of mass. The postulate number 5 which tells that atoms combine with another atom to form molecules is directly related to the law of constant composition. And the sixth postulate which says that the elements may combine in different ratio to form more than one compound. This point explains the law of multiple proportion. So in this way we can relate Dalton's theory with previously read laws of chemical combination. Moving forward, here are some drawbacks. We know that any law or theory in science has some positive point and negative points also. This atomic theory gave a big boost to chemistry world. It was the first successful attempt which could explain that the laws of chemical combination can related with this Dalton's theory except Gay-Lussac law. This theory provided an initiative to composition of matter. So, let's discuss about the limitation. First one is, this theory could not explain the law of gaseous volumes which is also known as Gay-Lussac law. Then, it failed to explain why atoms of different elements differ in mass, size and shape, etc. Then, it could not explain why atoms of different elements combine with each other to form molecule or compound atoms. Next one is, this theory failed to explain the nature of forces bind together in atoms to form molecule. Here you can see that in bold letter it is written that Dalton's modified atomic theory. So what is its need? We already read about Dalton's theory, right? So Dalton's theory remained unchallenged for about a century. But after the discovery of electron and proton, many things are changed. Then the thing came into light that atom can be divided into certain fundamental particles. Atom is not the smallest particle. Okay. Then Dalton's theory got modified, and the newly modified points are: atom is no longer considered as indivisible. Atom has a complex structure and composed of subatomic particles like electron, proton, neutron. Second point is, atoms of same element may not be similar in all respect. Atoms of same element may possess different atomic masses. Like hydrogen have atomic masses 1 AMU, 2 AMU, 3 AMU. It can differ. Like chlorine has 2 atomic masses 35 AMU and 37 AMU, which are known as isotopes. Then the third postulate is, atoms of different elements may have same atomic mass. For example, calcium has 40 AMU as atomic mass. Like argon also has 40 AMU as atomic mass. So different elements having same mass is called as isobar, like example calcium and argon. Fourth one is, atom is the smallest particle that takes part in chemical reaction, although it has 3 subatomic particles. Next one is, the ratio in which different atoms combine with one another may be fixed and integral but may not always simple. Like in sugar molecule, the formula is C12H22O11. Here the ratio between them are 12:22:11, which is not at all simple. Next point is, atoms of one element can be changed into atoms of other elements. For example, after bombardment of alpha rays, nitrogen can be changed into oxygen. This process is known as transmutation. Seventh one is, atom is no longer indestructible. Next, come to Avogadro's law. Avogadro suggested that matter consists of two kinds of ultimate particle. One is atom and other one is molecule. According to him, an atom is the smallest particle of an element which may or may not have independent existence and take part in chemical reactions. A molecule is the smallest particle of a substance capable of independent existence. From this law, we know that smallest particle of a gas which can have independent existence is molecule but not the atom. So, the volume of gas should be related to the number of molecules but not the atoms present in it. Then, Avogadro put forwarded a hypothesis which is known as Avogadro's hypothesis. It can be stated as, equal volume of all gases contain equal number of molecules under similar condition of temperature and pressure. Later on, this hypothesis is accepted as a law which is well known as Avogadro's law. So, the statement of this law is, the size of the gaseous molecules does not affect the number of molecules present in a specific volume. It is only affected by the temperature and pressure. So, if we keep temperature and pressure as constant, then volume will be directly proportional to the number of molecules. Capital B proportional to number of molecules N. Next one is merits of Avogadro's law. The first point of merit is, it explains the law of gaseous volumes, which is a demerit of Dalton's theory. Okay. Next one is, it proved that ultimate particles of the elementary gases are molecule, not the atom. Then come to application part. First point is, it can explain the chemical reactions which involves gas. For example, formation of HCl gas. From numerous study, we know that one volume of hydrogen combines with one volume of chlorine to form two volumes of HCl gas. Suppose one volume of gas contains n number of molecules, then we can write, applying Avogadro's law, that n number of molecule of hydrogen react with n number of molecule of chlorine to form 2n molecules of hydrochloric gas. Okay. one molecule of hydrogen contains 2 hydrogen atoms and one molecule of chlorine contains 2 chlorine atoms. Likewise, half molecule of hydrogen means 1 atom and half molecule of chlorine means 1 atom. So, during this reaction, atom don't go division, and it also agrees the Dalton's theory. The second application is, through this law, we can determine the atomicity of elementary gas. Like example, taking the same example as above, hydrogen when react with chlorine, it gives HCl gas. HCl gas is monobasic. It means in hydrochloric acid, only one atom of hydrogen is present. So, half molecule of the hydrogen take part in reaction while forming HCl gas, and other half of its contain only one atom. So, one molecule of hydrogen contains 2 atoms. We can conclude that hydrogen is diatomic. The third one is, it explains the Gay-Lussac's law. Let's see how. So, we know that hydrogen and oxygen combine to form water vapor. The reaction is 2H2 plus O2. It gives rise to 2 water vapor. We can write applying Avogadro's law that 2n molecules of hydrogen react with n number of molecules of oxygen and it forms 2n molecules of water vapor. Let's say 1 ml of each gas under similar condition of temperature and pressure contain m number of molecules. So, volume of 2n molecules of hydrogen will be 2n by m ml, and volume of n molecule of oxygen will be n by m ml, and volume of 2n number of molecule of water vapor is 2n by m ml. So, the ratio is 2n by m is to n by m is to 2n by m, which is 2 is to 1 is to 2. So, what's the ratio indicates? Of course, it's just a simple ratio, what we read before in Gay-Lussac's law. Here we conclude for today. Stay safe. Keep watching my channel. Like the video. Do share and subscribe for more updates. Thank you.